Trump is giving a speech on Thursday, and he is going to claim again that the 2020 election was stolen. He is also going to disqualify the two Georgia senators, John Ossoff and I think it's Steve Warnock. This is because he is an authoritarian dictator and he plans on stealing the midterm elections. He also does not plan on there being a presidential election in 2028. I'm right. If you disagree with me, you're wrong and stupid, and I couldn't give less of a fuck about your opinion. So we're going to move on to this story here. Benny Johnson, closeted homosexual and conservative pundit, posted this. Breaking. The Fuhrer's Thursday evening, quote, speech to the nation will reportedly show newly declassified intelligence reports that reveal a foreign nation's plan to interfere with the 2020 presidential election. The president will be joined by these fucking cucks. So if you don't know this, a big reason why we invaded Venezuela and kidnapped their sovereign leader, Nicolas Maduro, and then brought him back to the U.S. and threw him in prison with Luigi Mangione is because the Republicans have been claiming that Hugo Chavez, he's been dead for a very long time, claiming that Hugo Chavez planned to steal the 2020 election despite the fact that he died over a decade before that, and that the way he did it was by manufacturing the voting machines to vote for Joe Biden. This is not a joke. Again, we're not talking about human beings. We're talking about Republicans, so they will believe it. And what part of the deal, part of the quid pro quo that our pedophile Fuhrer has given Nicolas Maduro is for Nicolas Maduro to confess that, yes, the voting machines were rigged and, yeah, we did steal the 2020 election for Joe Biden, and that will give Nicolas Maduro a shorter sentence or maybe even free him. Again, you have to be a window-licking troglodyte in order to believe that, but granted, all 79 million MAGA supporters are inferior window-licking troglodytes, so they will believe it. Here's a story from Reuters regarding this. Trump to assert voting machine vulnerabilities in a Thursday speech. The pedophile Fuhrer, known as Donald Trump, will give a national address on Thursday night about quote-unquote newly declassified intelligence on investigations into U.S. elections and what the White House says are voting machine vulnerabilities, a regime official told Reuters on Monday. The Republican pedophile president could use his televised speech to again press his false claim that he lost the 2020 election to Democrat Joe Bomb the Kids Biden due to massive fraud. Numerous courts, ballot audits, and his first-term Justice Department found no evidence of such fraud, including vote machine rigging. The federal cybersecurity watchdog joined other federal, state, and local officials in declaring the vote, quote, the most secure in American history. Propelled by the Fuhrer's repeated claims that U.S. elections are, quote, rigged, the regime has for over a year sought to increase federal oversight of election regime and reshape the way Americans vote, an effort that legal experts say would take power away from states in violation of the U.S. Constitution. With Republican control of Congress at stake in November midterm elections, Democrats and some election security experts have expressed concerns that the Trump regime plans to interfere in those contests. Oh, gee, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that the man who tried to stage a insurrection to overthrow the democratically elected government in 2021 is going to try and steal the midterm elections? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? It's almost like every other leftist on planet Earth was warning about this. The regime official who discussed the plans on condition of anonymity said that the Fuhrer will discuss in his speech national elections and what White House officials view as voting machine flaws that could permit foreign cyber intrusion. The regime officials said the pedophile Fuhrer would discuss newly declassified intelligence related to 2020. MS Now first reported the Fuhrer's speech. Holte authorized to declassify intelligence. Election officials said that they are confident that the machines are adequately secure and no evidence has been found of foreign intrusions that change results of past elections. A forensic analysis submitted last year by Mojave Research, a contractor hired by former Director of National Intelligence and CIA agent Tulsi Gabbard, found flaws in voting machines seized in Puerto Rico, but no evidence of hacking. Gabbard, whose resignation was effective last month, also produced her own report that outlined significant vulnerabilities in voting machines and further safeguards, such as updating their software that could be implemented, three sources familiar with the matter said. The White House, however, has delayed releasing the report, and the pedophile Fuhrer has persisted in trying to prove that his 2020 defeat was due to fraud. His appointee, Bill Pulte, director of the Federal Mortgage Regulator, last month as Gabbard's interim replacement, and said he had authorized Pulte to declassify documents related to the 2020 vote. White House Task Force. The White House also recently formed a task force to investigate elements of the 2020 election. Three sources familiar with the matter said on condition of anonymity. One source said journalist John Solomon, a former Fox News contributor, is working on the effort. Solomon, the source said, had requested access to files related to an analysis that dissented from a U.S. intelligence assessment in 2021 that found no indications that a foreign actor had tried or succeeded in altering, quote, any technical aspect of the 2020 vote. The unclassified version of the assessment judged that Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized parts of his government to conduct influence operations aimed at boosting the vote for the pedophile known as Trump and undermining public confidence in the U.S. electoral process. China considered conducting influence operations designed to change the election outcome, but decided against doing so, while Iran pursued a, quote, multi-pronged covert influence campaign to undercut the pedophile's candidacy, the assessment said. The report was drafted by the National Intelligence Council, the top body of U.S. intelligence analysts, along with the CIA, the Department of Nazis, the FBI, the State Department's Intelligence Bureau, and the National Security Agency. All right, so it is no longer, it is beyond a shadow of a doubt that the pedophile Fuhrer plans on stealing the midterm elections. He plans on canceling the presidential elections. And listen, I told you this would happen. Every leftist in your life told you this would happen. Trump told you this would happen. Trump said he was going to run for a third and fourth term. This is reality. You live in a fascist authoritarian dictatorship. You need to bite that bullet and accept reality. Democracy is dead. Democracy died when we elected Donald J. Trump. Now, we also have this from the Washington Reporter News. The Fuhrer is planning to announce that Georgia's two senators, Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, my bad, I thought it was Steve, it's Raphael Warnock, are illegitimate because of fraud, a well-placed source in Georgia tells us. Announcement could come as soon as tonight. Absolutely fucking repugnant and disgusting. However, I expect nothing less from these fascist authoritarians. Now, the last thing I want to do is just give you an update on the illegal and offensive war in the name of pedophilia that Donald Trump started. U.S.-Iran war latest. Trump reverses course on the 20% fee for the Strait of Hormuz cargo, citing trade deals. The Fuhrer said on Tuesday that he, quote, decided to replace a 20% fee on shipping cargo through the Strait of Hormuz, which he announced the day before, with trade and investment deals from Gulf states. The price of international benchmark Brent crude oil had shot up a 1-month high, over $86 a barrel early Tuesday, after the Fuhrer said the U.S. would charge a 20% fee and reinstate a blockade of Iranian ports. He reaffirmed his position on Tuesday on the blockade, saying the strait was open to all traffic, quote, except for Iran. The U.S. military said it conducted a third consecutive night of strikes on Iran Monday that included the first combat use of sea drones to hit a naval base. And then we got this from half an hour ago. Netanyahu warns Iran, do not count on things remaining quiet if you attack us. Israeli Prime Minister and living modern Adolf Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu, warned Iran Tuesday that Israel would hit back if attacked. Netanyahu said in a conference in Dimona in Israel's southeast in a video released by his office, the days are over when someone strikes us and we don't hit back with a decisive blow. Sorry, I get indigestion when I have to think of Benjamin Netanyahu. Subhuman rat troops have been fighting Iranian-backed Hezbollah in southern Lebanon since the Iran war began. Iran has warned that any peace deal with the U.S. must include a subhuman rat withdrawal from the country, which the subhuman rat country known as Israel has refused to do until Hezbollah is disarmed. Hezbollah, a powerful Iranian proxy group long classified as a terrorist group by the United States and Israel, has flatly rejected calls to lay down its arms voluntarily. Good, they shouldn't. Hezbollah is the freedom fighters, the orphaned sons and daughters that were murdered by the subhuman inferior vermin known as Israelis. They are the only people standing up and fighting back against their oppressors. So there's your update. Trump plans on sealing the midterm elections, preventing the presidential elections. We continue to bomb the ever-loving fuck out of Iran with no goal in mind. We have no strategy. We have no plan. We have no goals. And yeah, it's absolutely fucked. It is absolutely fucked. Thanks for tuning in to the Valenti Bot. If you're here live, you stay. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. Always remember, this is real independent media, not online media. There's a lot of fucking conservatives and neoliberal cucks that interrupt their video halfway through, go, this video is sponsored by... Shut the fuck up, you hyper-capitalist pig bitch. This is real independent media. I am funded only through grassroots donation, merch sales, Patreon sales, and the AdSense revenue that I make off of the YouTube videos. So if you want to help support this channel, you can go down below to buy merch like the posters. We also have mugs, we got hoodies, we got low-cut shirts, we got all that jazz. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel, and you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. You get access to every YouTube video I make on Patreon where there's no advertisements if you don't have YouTube Premium. And also, just really quickly, I hope you understand, when you watch a YouTube video and that YouTuber interrupts halfway through to tell you who this video is sponsored by, you cannot trust that person. I don't give a fuck who it is. I have some people in mind, but I'm not going to say any names because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And a lot of these fucking liberals are helping dismantle the Trump regime. But just know that when this fascism is a thing of the past, you will have to reckon with neoliberal cucks, with the establishment Democrats, with these people who are role-playing like me. They are role-playing people like me, pretending to be independent media, pretending like they're not paid out by the fucking DNC. And your day will come. Thank you. Do me one last favor, click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.